Let's discuss multiplication and division of fractions. But before we do that, let's just look at some of the key concepts that we have to remember. Remember the following: x times y divided by z. This is just the same as x over 1 times y over 1 times, and then we're dividing by z here. It's like dividing by z over 1, so we tip in times, which is times 1 over z. And then remember, we say that to multiply fractions, we just say numerator times numerator, and then denominator times denominator. So we get xy divided by z. Let's say we have x divided by y times z. This will be equal to x over 1 times, we tip in times this is like y over 1, so if you tip in times, it becomes 1 over y, then times z over 1, and then you get your x z over y. And if you have something like this, x divided by y divided by z, this is like x over 1 times y over times 1 over y, then times 1 over z, which is equal to x over y z. And then if you have x divided by y times z, this is just the same thing as x times, then you tip in times, this is like 1 over y z, which is equal to x over y z. Remember that negative a over b is just the same as a over negative b. It's just the same as negative a over b, like this. So it's just the same thing. Remember this. And then maybe the last one, before we look at examples, say x minus y over a is equal to, you can factor out negative 1 from this numerator. You can factor out negative 1 from this numerator. Remember, when you factor out, let's say with x minus y, if you factor out negative 1, you divide this by negative 1, divide this by negative 1. You get negative 1, and then negative x plus y. It's just same as negative. Then you can swap these around, y minus x. You see that? So this is just same as negative, and then y minus x over a. Let's look at a few examples. Simplifying a here, let's look at the coefficients, numerical coefficients, 24 and 36. The highest common factor there is 12. So we can say 12 into 24, 12 into 24, that is 2. 12 into 36, that is 3. So we have 2 over 3. And then for the powers here, we can use the laws of exponents, which is a, then 6 minus 8, then b, 10 minus 1, because there's a 1 here, then 1 there, 1 there. Right, and then c will be 1 minus 1. And then c will be 0. So we have 2 over 3. And then we have a to the power negative 2. Then b to the power 9. And then c to the power 0. C to the power 0 becomes 1. And then this will give us that, because this one is negative 2. So it becomes the denominator with a positive exponent. So it's 2 over 3a squared. Then b to the power 9 is still in the numerator. 2b to the power 9 over 3a squared. This one is easy. Numerator times numerator. 5 times 8x squared, which is 40x squared. And then 2x times 25, this is 50x. And then the highest common factor is 10. 10 into 44, 10 into 55. And then we just have our 4 over 5. And then x to the power 2 minus 1, which is just same as 4 over 5x. Remember, we said this, we can write it even and say this is like 4x over 5. See that it's just the same thing. The other thing we could have done, we could have just said 5 into 5 here 1, 5 into 25 5, then 2 into 2 here 1, 2 into 8 4, and then x into x 1, x into x squared x, and then 1 times 4x is 4x, and then 1 times 5 is 5. You can do that also. Then let's do the next one. This one is easy, everything is numeric here, so this is 2 over 5 times 15 over 7, then we tip in times here, times 14 over 3. Then you multiply the numerators, you get 420. You multiply the denominators, you get 105. Then 420 divided by 105, you get 4. That's the answer. Or you could have done this 5 into 5, 1, 5 into 15, 3, 3 into 3, 1, 3 into 3, 1, 7 into 7, 1, 7 into 14, 2. So do you see that we remain with 2 times 2 in the numerators there, which is equal to 4. D, this is equal to, we have to tip in times here. So it's 2a squared over 3b cubed times 6 over 2a squared times b squared over 6. And then if you multiply the numerators, we get that this is 12a squared b squared. And then multiply the denominators, we get 36 b cubed a squared. A squared divided by a squared is 1. And then b squared here, there are 2 of them. We remain with the 1b there. And then 12 into 12, 1. 12 into 36, 3. We're remaining with 1, because here with 1 there. So we're remaining with 1 over 3b. We're remaining with 1 over 3b. But also you can use the laws of exponents. You can use the laws of exponents here. For the numerical coefficients, we have 1 over 3. And then for powers with base of a is a to the power 2 minus 2. And then powers with base of b is b, and then 2 minus 3, which will give you negative 1. That's why it becomes the denominator there. E, x squared minus x over x is either we break the fraction or we factorize. Let's start by factorizing. So it becomes x, then x minus 1, because we say x squared divided by x is x divided by x is 1, over x. Then x divided by x is 1, we remain with x minus 1. You can break the fraction and say x squared over x minus x over x. Then x squared divided by x is equal to x. Then negative x divided by x is negative 1. And then the last one, we tip in times the highest common factor here. We take the power with the lowest exponent, which is a squared, is a squared. And then a cubed divided by a squared, that is a. Negative a squared divided by a squared is negative 1 over 4 times 8 over a squared. So we can cancel across multiplication, but we cannot cancel across a plus or a minus. But here is multiplication, so we can cancel across. A squared divided by a squared is 1. And then 4 divided by 4 into 4, 1. 4 into 8, 2. So what do we remain with? We remain with 2 times this 2, and then this bracket 2 times a minus 1. Done.